All right. Now, this is mostly for Jay, anyone else who is reading our little argument here, and I'm mostly doing this by video because I'm tired of typing. So, might do this in a couple of segments. I might do this in one go. We'll friggin' see. So, all right. Arguing about not the little girl, the 20, I think she's 22-year-old girl who got body slammed in Colorado by a cop. Video goes, we're not having a lot of argument about what's in the video, I don't think. Even though we kind of are. Well, let's just play the video. Shit. All right, there we go. Now, video starts, cops got his arms around the girl. All right. Okay, so we see the cop's arm on the girl. 1 second in, girl never hits the cop. I don't think we're arguing about the content because the person in question I'm arguing with here keeps going about what happened before, making assumptions about what happened before the video, which, by the way, is always what happens when you see a cop doing what most reasonable people would consider completely overstepping their bounds. That's always the argument. And I heard, I don't remember who he was, one of those real liberal types, which I happen to have something in common with them when it comes to this, say you never hear this argument on the other end. You never hear cops, whenever a video happens and somebody is committing a crime, you never say, well, you did, committing a crime or committing something where it's either illegal or something where the cop might have his life in danger and did something where the civilian looks like they're in the wrong. You never hear cops and police unions saying, well, it looks pretty bad for this civilian that looks like he's completely out of hand, but you didn't see what happened before the video. Never do you hear that argument. Only when it's in favor, only when the cop looks like he's in the wrong do you ever hear that argument from police unions and from police chiefs and from the cop himself or anything like that. But nonetheless, let's look at the video. Now, still, we're not seeing the girl doing any assault. Again, I want to make, boom, takes her down. Got a guy. Okay, there you go. So, there it is, and going back over to, just want to make sure I cover all bases here. All right, so the guy starts the thing with nice takedown, which I'm not even going to get into, talking about this like you're in a fucking football game or something like that. Nice takedown, but sorry, Jay, but that's a bit of a douchey thing to say when you see something and get all the facts. But whatever, you might say the same thing about me because I keep calling this cop a thug, but all right. So I said, except that she didn't assault this piece of human shit. Yeah, I get a little emotional when I see a girl body slammed by a guy who's probably weighs like 250 pounds, who's probably taking out his anger on her because he'll never lay a woman of that grade. I mean, it might have been a little emotional there, but I'm sure it's true. Goes to show that I've been saying for 20 years, cop apologists will defend anything a douche with a badge does, no matter what they do. Yeah, and I maintain that. I believe that people who typically subscribe to Blue Lives Matter and things like that, and this is a certain kind of person that a cop is never in the wrong. They'll talk all the time about how the bastard or the so-and-so deserved it, but you never hear them go against a cop. There's just certain people I've known, and so, yeah, all right. So he says, okay, Jay, you're always going on about how I assume shit, all right? You're always going on how I assume shit. You start with an assumption at the very beginning. Remember, I keep saying the pot calling the kettle black. Actually, she did assault him, LOL. LOL's getting so old, along with our ROLF and whatever. But anyway, okay. Actually, she did assault him. You reach conclusions way too early. Wait a minute. You just reached a conclusion, Jay. God, I mean, all right. I hope we can agree that you're accusing me of something that you do. because she didn't assault him in the video. The cops have admitted that it doesn't show her assaulting him in the video. So you are assuming that this cop is telling the truth. I am assuming that he's probably lying because cops do that. So I said, no, she didn't. I said, watched it 3 times. No, she didn't. He says, you said, I'm addressing you. The fun thing about YouTube videos of police contacts is they almost never capture all of the facts in this case. She did, again, assumption, she did assault the police officers even if you did not see it. You talk like you were there, Jay. You're talking like you were there. The video starts with this shitbag's hands on her. So, no, she didn't. So, in your view, the incident began when the video begins, and that is a correct summary of your perspective. I think you know that I don't. I think you think I know that when a cop assaults somebody and slams somebody to the ground who poses them no threat. That is my biggest issue here. There is no way this tiny girl posed any threat to this cop. Body slamming her was a way of saying, respect my authority. There was no other reason to do it. And I also want to point out I have never brought up any issues of legality, and there's something to be said about that. I've never brought up the legality of whether it's illegal for a cop to body slam somebody who doesn't pose them any threat. I have to assume that it is, but I'm not a lawyer. So later on, you start going on about my credentials, completely irrelevant to this. I have a problem with a guy who's bigger than me, most likely, judging by the looks of the video. A guy who's bigger than me, body slamming a girl smaller than my sister. Sorry. Okay, you don't know who that is. Body slamming a petite girl who's unarmed. There's no reason to do this but to assert dominance. No other reason whatsoever to do it. To smash this girl's jaw into the ground to assert dominance out of his ego. There's no other reason. So I said, dude, you're not rolling on the ground. Yeah, I'm just so tired of ROFL. It's like, you know that the person doing it is, all right, whatever. It's just these things. I've gotten away from LOL, especially in arguments. RFLL even more. It doesn't make a point. It's just all right. So I said, dude, you're not rolling on the ground laughing. Spare me the dramatics. But once you called kicking an armed, oh yeah, in an earlier argument a couple of months ago, I remember a guy kicks in Turkey, no less, which, okay, Jay, you thought that was in America. And honestly, I think that fueled your bias in this situation. With a fire hose, water cannon, this guy kicks an armored vehicle, doubles up his fist and punch it. An armored vehicle, no people anywhere near it, starts walking away, and they spray him with a water cannon from behind. No reason to do that but revenge. The guy was walking away by that point and nobody got hurt. And you called that assault. We have a bit of a difference of opinion as to what assault is here, Jay. All right. So the first thing you said was we didn't see what happened before. Oh, yeah. Okay, so so they also fire the water cannon 3 protesters that were sitting on the ground and water cannon, and that's what you said. And if I have to dig for it, I'll show it because I know, I have to go far back, but I know it's in there where that was your argument. When 3 girls sitting on the ground were water cannoned, and you said, well, I don't see what happened. Well, like, what could possibly, again, you might deny that this conversation took place, so in which case I'll have to dig for it. I'd be glad to do that. In this earlier conversation, 3 girls sitting on the ground, clapping their hands so they're not armed. What could have possibly happened before that would have justified water cannoning them before a minute and a half, if I remember right, or so, of video ensued? All right, but I want to get back to this incident with the cop. In the same video, the 3, okay, yeah, I already said that. You will take any cop's side regardless of what the vid shows. By the way, what I'm doing by saying that you'll take the cop's side every time is I'm giving you the opportunity to show me an incident where you didn't take the cop's side. It should be pretty easy. This is the internet. This shit out there, So, yeah, I will take the cop's side. That's the difference, so far as I can tell. That is the difference between you and me. I've taken the cop's side many times. There was one incident where a girl accused the cop of sexual misconduct. The cop, it was all on film, and she said the cop groped her. I took the cop's side. She clearly didn't. Um, there were incidents where some kids were getting arrested at the pool, and they were all flailing around like they were having, like crazy people, and the cops had to do something about it. And these cops ended up hurting a girl, throwing her into the car. But what are you going to do when you're flopping around like a fish? I don't believe that the cop meant to hurt the girl, so I took the cop's side. I got a list. I don't remember memorizing this stuff, but I think about